So we're going to start from where we left off in the first lesson. So it's the last paragraph on page number 5, where it says Los días son largos y las noches más largas todavía. So los días means the days. The days. So it's al día is the day, and los días means the days. Son means are or they are. This is the conjugation of the verb ser, which means to be. And if you look at page 32 of the grammar book, they'll give you the conjugation of the verb ser, which is, like if you look ser, right below ser, you will see soy, which means I am, and s, you, or he is, she is, it is. And somos is we are, and son is you are or they are. So los días son largos, and largos means long. So it says the days are long. Y las noches. E again pronounces two e's. E means and. Las noches means the nights. The night. So the days are long and the nights más largas is more long or longer. And todavía means still. So it says the days are long and the nights are longer still. But which means the days are long and the nights are even longer. Casi no como. Now, casi means almost. And this word comer, comer means to eat. And when you change it to como, that means I eat. So casi no como is almost I don't eat, or in other words, it says I hardly eat. Quiero dormir. So this word quiero means I want. Oh, sorry. I want. So quiero means I want, and when you say dormir, it means to sleep. So you put these two words together and you get quiero dormir, which would be I want to sleep. So quiero dormir means I want to sleep. So if you say quiero comer, I want to eat, whatever you want, you can use quiero and the verb. And the thing to note here is that when you use two verbs together, you only conjugate the first one. So this word querer means to want. And if you want to say I want, you would say quiero, and then you do not conjugate the next word. So quiero dormir would be I want to sleep. And then we have other verb olvidar, which means to forget. So if you say quiero dormir, olvidar, it means I want to sleep to forget. And then you have this word poder, which means to be able to. Poder means to be able to, and then you put it together, olvidar. Olvidar means to forget, and then if you put these two words together, olvidar means to be able to forget. So when you read, you put words together to get the meaning, and then when you speak, you also put the words together to build a sentence to express yourself. So poder olvidar means to be able to speak. No quiero otra cosa. So no quiero means I don't want, and otra means other, and cosa means thing. So it says I don't want other thing, by which he wants to say like I don't want anything else. says, pero no debo soñar. Soñar means to dream. And no debo, it comes from this verb deber, which translates into must or have to. And deber can also mean to owe. To owe. So when you say debo, that can mean like I owe. Like for instance, if you say te debo, that would mean I owe you. So if you say no te debo nada, means I don't owe you anything. So no te debo nada. So you can use it in different contexts as well. But here it says, pero no debo soñar, but I must not dream. No. And then he says, todos mis sueños ocurren después. So todos mis sueños means all my dreams. Ocurren, that comes from this word ocurrir, which means to occur or to happen. So all my dreams occur, and después means later. So all my dreams occur later. Y es terrible, terrible, and it is terrible, terrible. And then we move on to the next sentence. Ahora no sé. Ahora means now. This word no sé means I don't know. So ahora no sé means I don't know. Estoy escribiendo. Estoy means I am, and estoy escribiendo means I am writing. Now, if you look at page 28 of the grammar book, you will see, like, yeah, you'll see. I'm sorry, 33, page 33 of the grammar book. You'll see in the middle, comprar, llover, sufrir. So comprar is comprando, llover, lloviendo, and sufrir would be sufriendo. So if you go a little bit below the grammar book, you would say estoy escribiendo. That gives you an example. I'm writing. Estoy escribiendo una carta a mi familia. I'm writing a letter to my family. So in this case, it says estoy escribiendo esta carta. So ahora no sé, now I don't know. I'm writing this letter, or the O is or. Sueño. Sueño means I dream. So I'm writing this letter, or I dream that I write. So this comes from this verb soñar, which means to dream. And the title of the first book is like Soñar un crimen. That's the title of the book, which means to dream or dreaming a crime. Or I dream that I'm writing. No es fácil. Now this word es fácil means it is easy. When you say no es fácil, that would mean it is not easy. So no es fácil, it is not easy. And this word saber means to know. So no es fácil saber. Saber means to know, and lo means it. So you can put these two words together, become saberlo would become to know it. So no es fácil saberlo, it is not easy to know it. Por eso escribo mi diario. Now this word por eso means for that, or it means por eso means for that, or that's why. That's why. Escribo mi diario. Escribo means I write, and mi diario is my diary. Por eso escribo mi diario. That's why I write my diary. Para comprobar. Para comprobar means for checking or in order to check. Para comprobar for checking or in order to check que no estoy loco. Que means that no estoy loco. I am not crazy. So estoy loco is I'm crazy. No estoy loco. I'm not crazy. So what he's saying is that he says I don't know if I'm writing this letter or a dream that I write. So it's not easy to know it. So that's why he writes everything down so they can later check that he's not crazy. Like actually whatever was going on was actually happening. So los and the next sentence, like the next paragraph, los niños se han ido del parque. So los niños means the children. And now this part, se han ido, that needs some explanation. So if you look at page 40 of the grammar book, you will see there's a verb, insistir, means to insist. Insistir means to insist. So if you look at page 40 and it gives you like a third conjugation for present perfect. So if you see he insistido, that would be I have insisted. And like if you look at page 40, yeah, if you say he insistido, I have insisted. I insistido, you have insisted. He, she, it has insisted. Hemos insistido is we have insisted. Han insistido, you, they have insisted. So in English, you form the present perfect by adding like ed, like I've decided, I've committed. But in Spanish, for the er verb, it's like ido. And I'll give you another example. Let's say you have this word decidir, which means to decide. So when you say he decidido, means I have decided. So he decidido is like I have decided. So let's say if you want to say han decidido, that would mean they have decided. Han decidido means they have decided. Now, in Spanish, there's a smallest, I mean, also like in English, it's a small verb. Ir means to go. If I change it to han ido, that would mean they have gone. So han ido means they have gone. Now, for some strange reason in Spanish, if you add se to ir, if you add se to ir, that becomes to leave. So irse means to leave. Now, if you change to se han ido, that would translate into have left or they have left. So if you put all these words together, los niños. Now, if you look at this, like los niños se han ido, which means the children have left. And then again, it's the contraction de, it means like from, el parque, the park. So the park. So if you combine de plus el, it'll become del. So del parque. Los niños se han ido del parque means the children have left from the park. Then it says llueve mucho. Now this word llover means to rain. So when you change it to llueve, that means it rains. So llueve mucho means it rains a lot. Está lloviendo. Now llover means to rain, and when you change it to lloviendo, it means raining. So está lloviendo means it is raining. Sobre means on. or above. Raining on the and los pájaros, this is and it's going to be pájaros. Pájaros means the birds. So los pájaros, está lloviendo sobre los pájaros means it is raining on the birds. En las plazas, in the plazas, y en los jardines, and in the los jardines, the gardens. So it says, está lloviendo sobre los pájaros. It is raining on the birds. En las plazas means in the plazas and the markets. Y en los jardines, and in the gardens. So la noche again means la noche means the night. La noche, the night. Llegar means to arrive. La noche llega means the night arrives. Como una pregunta. Como means as, and una pregunta, a question. So la noche llega como una pregunta means the night arrives as a question. Una pregunta, a question imposible de contestar. So imposible de contestar means impossible, impossible to answer. So la noche llega como una pregunta. The night arrives as a question. Una pregunta imposible de contestar. A question impossible to answer. Then it says, Fernando, estoy cansado. And estoy means I am. And cansado means tired. Tired. So it says, estoy cansado. I am tired. So you say, estoy cansado because he is a man. Cansado. So if you were a woman, you would say, estoy cansada. So that's different. Cansado is for male, cansada is for female. So it says, Fernando, estoy cansado, muy cansado. Fernando, I'm tired, very tired. Y no tengo tiempo. So this verb tener, which means to have. And when you change it to tengo, that becomes I have. So when you say no tengo, it means I don't have. Now there's some verbs which are irregular. And now if you look at page 29 of the grammar book, you will see this verb tener, which means to have. Now this book follows a convention. If you look on page 28, it gives you an example, decir. So when you say digo, I say, dice, you say, he says, she says, decimos, we say, dicen, you say. So the first word is for the first person, I have. Now there's also a website which is called SpanishTick.com. So if you put any verb and choose conjugations, you can see all the conjugations of the verb. But here in this book, we focus on one conjugation at a time, so you will be able to retain. Because when you're speaking, you will use one conjugation and it should come to your mind right away. So that would happen when you see it over and over multiple times, yeah. Okay. Says Fernando, estoy cansado, muy cansado, y no tengo tiempo. Fernando, I'm tired, very tired, and I don't have time. Solo te pido una cosa. No, solo it means only. Pedir means to ask. To ask. So it says, solo te pido, and only I ask you una cosa is one thing. Only I ask you one thing. Con esta carta. So con esta carta means with this letter. So con esta carta means with this letter. Va un paquete. Now this word va means goes. It comes from this verb ir, to go. So with this packet, va un paquete. There's a joke in Spain that the Chevy Nova didn't sell well in Spain because Chevy does not go. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's real or it's just made up. So va mean goes. So con esta carta va un paquete. With this letter goes a package. Dentro de él, inside of it. So dentro means inside. So inside of it. Now this de él is of it, and these are like prepositional pronouns. So whenever you have like de and you see L with an accent over E, it will become inside of it. Like if the object is a masculine, or if you're talking about like a male. So dentro de él, inside of it. Since paquete is masculine, so that's why it's like inside of it would have this form L. So inside of it, está mi último diario. Now, último means last. Inside of it, my last diary. Es para Laura. Es para Laura means it is for Laura. Por favor means please. Por favor, please, llévalo a su casa. Now, this word llevar means to take. So when you change it to the command form, lleva, that would become take. So llévalo, and lo means it. Lo is the object pronoun, which means it. Now, if you look at page 21 of the grammar book, you would see lo under direct, which would be him, or it can mean it. So it says llévalo is like take it. So if you combine this, like llévalo would be take it. Take it to her house, a su casa. Es muy importante. It is very important. Then it says, no puedo decirte más. So no puedo again means I cannot. Decir means tell, and te means you. So when you say decirte, it becomes tell you. So I cannot tell you more. So no puedo decirte más. I cannot tell you more. Es mejor para todos. Es means it is, and mejor mejor means better. Es mejor para todos. for everyone. So es mejor para todos. It is better for everyone. Hasta siempre. Hasta means till, and siempre means always. So when you say hasta siempre, although word for word it would mean like till always, but actually it's in the way of saying so long. Usually you see like hasta luego, or you end the letter with saludos, but it's like a little different. Hasta siempre, so long, Carlos. So this was the letter that Carlos wrote to his friend Fernando. Now, in the italics, the narrator takes over and talks about what Fernando does once he finishes reading the letter. Now, this word dejar means to leave. So Fernando deja la carta. Fernando leaves, and la carta means the letter. So Fernando deja la carta means Fernando leaves the letter. Encima, encima means on top. Fernando leaves the letter on top de la mesa, the table. Fernando leaves the letter on top of the table y pasea nervioso. And pasear means to walk. And he walks. Nervioso is nervously. Fernando leaves the letter on top of the table and walks nervously por la habitación. Por la habitación means through the room or in the room. Then it says va hacia la cocina. So va means he goes, and hacia means towards. So he goes hacia la cocina. La cocina means the kitchen. So va hacia la cocina. He goes towards the kitchen y prepara. Preparar means to prepare. Y prepara café. And café means coffee. It can also mean cafe, but here in this context, it means coffee. Oh, I'm sorry. It's coffee, yeah. So va hacia la cocina y prepara café. He goes towards the kitchen and prepares coffee. Es una tarde fría del mes de octubre. Tarde means evening. So es una tarde fría. Fría means cold. Es una tarde fría. It is an evening cold. Del mes de octubre, of the month of October. It's an evening cold of the month of October. Es domingo. Domingo means Sunday. It is Sunday. Y Fernando hoy no trabaja en el hospital. It is Sunday and Fernando today no trabaja means is not working. So es domingo y Fernando hoy no trabaja en el hospital. It is Sunday and Fernando today is not working in the hospital. Puede sentarse tranquilo a leer. Puede means he can. He can. Sentarse. Sentarse means to sit down. Now the suffix it has like a se, which indicates it's a reflexive verb. So reflexive verbs are those verbs in which you kind of act on your own self. You do not transfer the action to an external object. When you say sentarse, which means to sit down. Now, if you look at page 45 of the grammar book, you will see that it talks about the conjugation of the verb sentarse. So me siento, I sit down. Se sienta is like he sits down or she sits down. So it says puede sentarse means he can sit down. Tranquilo, and this word leer means in order to read. So puede sentarse tranquilo a leer. He can sit down calmly to read. So he can sit down calmly to read. Vuelve a su habitación y pone música. So this word volver, which means to return. So when you change it to vuelve, which means he returns, a su habitación means to his room, y pone música. And this word poner means to put. So he returns to his room and he puts music. Este paquete es para Laura. So este means that. Now, if you see este, that would mean this. So that's the difference. So if you look at page 18 of the grammar book, you will see that este hombre is that man, este hombre is this man. So, so este paquete es para Laura means that package is for Laura, la mujer de Carlos. La mujer de Carlos means the wife of Carlos. Like la mujer can also mean the woman, but it can also mean wife. But in this context, it's kind of like wife. Ese paquete es para Laura, la mujer de Carlos, y él no debe abrirlo. And él means he. No debe abrirlo. He must not. And abrir means open. And he must not. Abrirlo is like open it. So that package is for Laura, la mujer de Carlos, the wife of Carlos, y él no debe abrirlo, and he must not open it. Pero él quiere saber, but he wants to know. Saber means to know, but he wants to know. Debe saber más. He must know more. So quiere means he wants, and debe means he must. Saber, pero él quiere saber, but he wants to know. Debe saber más. He must know more. Busca sus gafas. So this word, buscar, means to look for. So busca means he looks for. So busca sus gafas. He looks for his glasses. Bajar. Bajar means to turn down. Bajar means to turn down or to lower. So baja, he turns down. Un poco means a little. So un poco means a little. So he turns down a little the music. Y se sienta. Sentarse means to sit down. And again, se sienta, he lowers a little the music and he sits down. Ese diario means that diary. Es muy importante. The diary is very important. Para él means for him. So the diary is very important for him. So now he starts reading he opens the package and he would like start reading the diary. But in the package first there is a letter which he's going to go through. So the letter starts with querida Laura. So as you can probably guess, querida would be dear. So querida Laura would be dear Laura. Aquí tienes mi último diario. Aquí means here, and this word tiene, this word tener means to have. When you say I have, it's like tengo, but when you say tienes, it means you have. Here you have mi último diario. Mi último is like my last, and diario is diary. Here you have my last diary. Todo está aquí. Everything is here. No debemos vernos durante un tiempo. No debemos is we must not. Ver means see, and nos is us. So no debemos vernos means we must not see us, but which means like we must not see each other. Durante un tiempo. Durante means during, and un tiempo is time. So we must not see each other during a time. Debes esperar. So again, this word debes is you must. You must. And esperar means wait. Esperar means wait. So debes esperar means you must wait. And then he says, yo no estoy bien. No estoy bien. Bien means well. So what he says, no estoy bien, I'm not well. So no, yo no estoy bien. I'm not well. Estoy muy lejos de Madrid. I am very far from Madrid. Lejos de la ciudad. Lejos means like far, and de la ciudad means from the city. Now, ciudad means the city. You may have heard like Ciudad de Mexico. So he says, I'm very far from Madrid, far from the city. Lejos del ruido de las calles. Lejos del ruido. Now, this word ruido means noise. So, lejos del ruido, far from the noise. De las calles, far from the noise of the streets. Las calles. The street. So far from the noise of the street. So far from the noise of the street, lejos de la gente, far from the people. De las oficinas, far from the offices. Muy lejos de todo. Muy lejos is very far. De todo means from everything. So So what he says, I'm far from the city, far from the noise of the street, far from the people, from the offices, muy lejos de todo, very far from everything. Con este diario. So con means con means with. Este diario means this diary. Con este diario vas a entender muchas cosas. Now, when you have this verb ir, which means to go. So when you say voy, that means I am going, or it can also mean I go. If you say voy, let's say escribir, that will become I am going to write. So voy a escribir would be I'm going to write. So when you say vas a escribir, that means you are going to write. So entender means to understand. So vas a entender means you are going to understand muchas cosas. Muchas cosas is many things. So vas a entender muchas cosas. You're going to understand many things. Vas a saber. You're going to know. Saber por qué. Now this word por qué means why. Now if you see another type of por qué which is like together without the accent, that means because. So vas a saber por qué debo hacer todo esto. You're going to know why. Debo is I must. Debo is I must. Oh, I must. And hacer means do or to do. It can have both meanings. So vas a saber por qué debo hacer. You're going to know why. Debo hacer, I must do. And todo esto means all this. So vas a saber por qué debo hacer todo esto. Todavía te quiero. Now this word todavía means still. Te quiero, te means you, and quiero can mean like want, or can also be used in sense of like I want. But when you say te quiero together, it's used in a sense of I love you. So te quiero is like I love you. And Carlos, and this is how he ends the diary. Oh, I mean, sorry, this is how he ends the letter, and then he's going to start reading the diary, and we'll cover the diary in the next class. And you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.